Good morning, friends. Hearty welcome to each one of you for this one-day seminar on investment awareness, investor awareness and protection. This program is organized by our byCA Committee for Capital Market and Investors Protection. We are really thankful to them. We provided the opportunity to the Bengaluru branch to host this program. Let us thank them. Friends, to inaugurate this one-day seminar, we have with us an eminent personality, an investment banker, a managing director of an investment banking multinational, Goldman Sachs, with us. May I request branch chairman to escort the speaker onto the dais. I also welcome Mr. Gokin. Friends, please join me to welcome the speaker. Thank you. Now I request chairman to welcome the gathering.
Trijagarvandita Ganapa Mahapudu Matike Mangalava. Distinguished guest of today's program, Investor Awareness Program, organized under the aegis of Committee on Capital Markets and Investors Protection and hosted by the Bengaluru branch of the Southern India Regional Council of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Chief guest CA Sathiya Padmanaban and the newly elected Secretary B.T. Shetty, the Managing Committee of Bengaluru branch, the esteemed members of this branch, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. As the 50th chairman of this branch, it's my great pleasure and honor to welcome our chief guest, Sathiya Padmanaban, Satyanarayan. Friends, when we approached him, he said, "Oh, you want me to talk to the brilliant brains of your branch?" I said, "Yes." That is the humbleness that he has got in his mind. Such a big personality is with us. Friends, please join me to welcome him. Friends, it's my great pleasure to welcome each one of you for today's program, Investor Awareness Program. I welcome every one of you. Having taken over the charge on 20th of February, welcome Murthy. This is just a 10 days time that the new managing committee has been engaged in serving this profession and this branch. Couple of new initiatives that we have taken, I would like to bring it to your notice. Friends, if you have visited our website, the insurance policies are available for the chartered accountants. It is specially designed package made available to chartered accountants. You can buy medical insurance policy, you can buy personal accident policy, you can buy professional indemnity policy, and so on. All these policies are available on the Bengaluru branch website, and make use of that. Friends, we have also initiated the coaching class, additional coaching class facility for the benefit of our students. As you know, we have got more than about 35,000 students in Bengaluru, and had about 500 plus students were utilizing our coaching class facility. And today we are revamping the whole thing, and the plan is to have at least 2,000 students to come and get benefited out of our coaching class. Therefore, we are enhancing the capacity of our Bengaluru platform, and we are also bringing in lot of renowned speakers as the special guest lecturers for helping the students, and therefore kindly spread the message to all your articles and students community that Institute's coaching class is going to be the best coaching class in Bengaluru. Friends, coming to the programs, the Mantana program which we had started at the beginning of our new managing committee on last Wednesday has been a great success. It was a houseful session, packed session, and I have received a lot of feedback not only from Bengaluru and also from other branches of Karnataka saying that this is one of the best programs that they have ever heard. So this was a grand success, and today is the next second program that we have got, which is the awareness program, investor awareness program. We have got more than 210 registrations, and as you know, Saturday morning coming out and reaching to this branch is always taking time, and I am hoping that the remaining members will join our program soon. And going forward, we have got yet another Mantana program on 8th of March, which is going to be attended by, it's actually an interactive session with the government officials, the income tax commissioners, TDS division. It is going to be an interactive session. I request all of you to make use of the program, and online registration is already open, and the registration number is limited to the available seats in this hall. It's not more than 220. So kindly register yourself as early as possible. And yet another important annual program that we have is on 23rd March, which is in the Chancery Pavilion, which is the bank branch audit program. And I request all of you to, in case if you have got a branch audit assignments, ensure that you are registered for this program. That is again limited number of seats. We cannot accommodate more than 400 seats in the hall available in Chancery Pavilion. So I request all of you to make use of the facility going through the online registration in our website. With these words, I would like to conclude my opening welcome speech and welcome each one of you once again. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chairman, for your wonderful welcome address. Friends, it is my privilege to introduce the guest of the morning, Sathiya Padmanaban, a proud member of our institute, commonly called Sathiya, manages investment management divisions controllers in Bengaluru and serves on the Bengaluru Risk Committee. Previously, he managed the America's interest rate, foreign exchange and emerging markets product control teams in New York. Prior to that, Sathiya was responsible for the Asia interest rate products and exotics product control functions in Tokyo. He joined Goldman Sachs in 2003 as a senior analyst and was named managing director in the year 2017. Prior to joining the firm, Sathiya worked in the finance division of JP Morgan from 2000 to 2003 in Mumbai and Singapore. He is also a member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. With this brief introduction, I present CA Sathiya Padmanaban before you. Before welcoming him to deliver keynote address, let us light the lamp and seek Almighty's blessings. Please join us. May I request others to join me? ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಶ್ರೀದೇವರ ಅನುಗ್ರಹ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಂಬುತ್ತಾ let us move on to our next session. May I request Sathiya Padmanaban to take over.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. It was very generous. Thank you. I think I probably want to start by wishing all my fellow Indians on the safe, comeback of Bengaluru and Abhinandan. It was indeed a big relief, a very happy and joyous moment to see him back safe and sound. It's a proud moment that we want to acknowledge in this place, right? I would also like to thank the chairman and the secretary and the institute for inviting me over to address this esteemed panel over here. Thanks once again. Just like any investment disclosure or investor disclosure, I would need to do my compliance disclosure from Goldman Sachs. So the views that I express here are my own personal, has nothing to do with Goldman Sachs or any of the kind of organizations that I have worked with, right? Investor awareness. There are so many things that come to mind when we think about investor awareness, right? What are all the things that we could speak about? We could speak about diversification, we could speak about market risk, we could speak about what are some of the core basic things that people need to look into. And as I was thinking about the different topics that I would touch upon in my 10 to 15 minutes address here, I thought it might be worthwhile spending a few minutes on the 2008 financial crisis. There was that witness in US, and what were the biggest lessons that I learned as I saw the classic investment banking world completely closed down, right? I thought I would share some of those lessons here, right, so that it might benefit. And before I kind of delve into that, I just wanted to check with people here. How many of you are from the industry? Raise of hands. Okay, so good majority are practicing members, right? And I'm guessing that these few pointers that I share would be useful, right? So before I get into the 2008 crisis, I'll probably also spend a minute on how lucky I've been and some of the investment world crisis, both in terms of the making and in terms of the aftermath that I've had to witness. So 2003, when I joined in Tokyo, right, there was a period where Japan was still in recession. There was negative GDP growth, zero interest rates. There were times when rates were getting closer to negative, while the US and the developed markets were still, kind of booming with high interest rates. And Japan investors were flooded with cash, right? It's more of a cash economy, and they had their savings, but if they were to invest in their own government bonds and investments, they were getting closer to 0% rates. So the scenario isn't too different to what we see in India today. India is, of course, nowhere close to zero interest rate, but what I mean by that is the rates have generally come down over the last few years, and the good old classic investor who's looking for higher yields has to take higher risks, right? So what the Japanese investors would do is they would invest in foreign assets, many of them in derivatives form, and leverage to get higher yields, right? They had no other way to go if they had to get any respectable yields. like even a 4% yield was a huge task back in the day. So I got to witness some of the most exotic derivatives being traded in the Japanese markets. It was way more riskier than what I had seen in US or Europe or any of the other developed economies. The aftermath of that is in August 2007, when the hedge funds of Bastards went down. I don't know how many of you recollect the pre-2008 events. Yen kind of rallied, Japanese yen rallied a good 10% in a week's time. And for the world's second biggest economy back then, there was a crazy shock, right? The carry trades began to unwind, and there was a lot of uncertainty and volatility that ensued, right? So the point that I'm trying to make here is when there are large differences in the market opportunity. Where one markets, in this example that I was giving, Japanese markets, the rates are extremely low, and another market, rates are high. What happens is it's not just the Japanese investors. Everyone tries to borrow from the lower currencies and invest in the higher yielding currencies, right? It could be in equities, it could be in fixed income, it could be in foreign exchange, it could be in commodities. It doesn't matter, but the underlying risks are very similar, right? And as I look at 2018, 2019 Indian market scenario, it's not too different. There's increased volatility, right? Rates have been volatile, but more subdued over the past few years. Inflation, thankfully, has been subdued. But what does it mean for the investor? Are the investors taking higher risks? That is one side of it. And coming to the 2008 crisis itself, right? Literally, the top 5 investment banks of the world did not exist as they were any longer. Bastards, Lehman Brothers collapsed. Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, Goldman Sachs changed. Merrill Lynch got absorbed into Bank of America. They merged with them. And then Goldman and Morgan Stanley became bank holding companies, no longer the classic investment banks. So what went wrong? From an investor awareness point of view, I would like to probably highlight 3 things that I learned being in the US in 2008, how it unfolded. The first one is liquidity risk. Right? That is one thing that a lot of people ignore. When people think about investments, when people think about investor protection, when people think about how do I disclose what investments we've made in underlying, they think about market risk. Right? That's the number one thing that comes to their mind. Well, market risk is very important, no doubt, but liquidity risk is something equally important. For folks who read into what went wrong with Lehman Brothers, you would realize that Lehman didn't make a lot of bad bets, right? What went wrong with Lehman was that they didn't follow their liquidity risk carefully, right? So what's going to be my cash inflow and outflow over the next day, over the next week, over the next month is something that and I wouldn't just single out Lehman. I would say generally investment banks and the larger banks in the pre-2008 era didn't spend enough time. And when you have a liquidity crunch, you try to sell out some of the best investments that you have, right? And it could be a small shopkeeper, it could be a salaried employee, it could be a big investment firm, it doesn't matter, right? When you invest your hard-earned money in whatever investments that you have, you should think about what my liquidity risks are. If tomorrow there is an uncertain event that happens, how would I be able to liquidate? How would I be able to generate liquidity? And in my portfolio, assuming that we as chartered accountants are able to advise other people, what percentage of my investment is liquid, right? So the first lesson that I learned in the 2008 crisis is never ignore liquidity risk. It's something very important. And if you have to think about investor awareness, make sure that you disclose the current liquidity of your portfolio, but equally importantly, how you would be able to generate liquidity in case there is a need for it, right? Would you be able to assign some of the investments? Would you be able to pledge? Would you be able to get a loan against some of the investments? Would you be able to sell them off in a short period of time? That's kind of very, very important. Again, even though I'm addressing this for 10-15 minutes, if there are any questions, any thoughts, please do feel free to stop me, right? The second point that I learned is, in an uncertain world that we all live in, we all have to make assumptions, right? It's impossible for us not to make assumptions. Even the world's best trading models, investment models, have assumptions, right? The key in when you make assumptions is to document them and keep validating those assumptions again and again, right? At regular frequencies. We often do not do that, right? And what happens is some of the things that we take for granted in volatile markets, they change, right? A couple of big surprises that I found in the 2008 crisis that I would like to share. One is, can we ever imagine the US Treasury, which is considered to be one of the safest assets on earth, risk-free assets, trade cheaper than, lesser in value than the swaps, the LIBOR markets of banks, which has credit risk, right? Back in 2008, 2009, most swaps were not cleared in exchanges. They carried the credit risk of the banks that were participating in these swaps and the LIBOR rates. But what happened? Like, several finance books had to be rewritten in the post-2008 crisis because the assumptions that were made prior proved to be incorrect. And many banks did not revalidate these assumptions, right? And why did that happen? That happened because in a crisis, especially a credit crisis, the balance sheet of banks and hedge funds are significantly constrained, right? You want to exit out of your risky assets and you want to invest in safe assets. But your balance sheet, there's only so much capital you have, and banks, in 2008, if you were to recall, if you were to look back at the market rates, you would see that US interest rates went down crashing, close to 0% from like 5, 6, 7% high that were there in the pre-crisis era. And there was only so much capacity to buy treasuries. So if someone were to take advantage of the falling interest rates, what would they do? They could only go and invest in derivatives in the swap market. So in that balance sheet constrained environment, US treasuries, even though their values went up, they traded cheaper to the US swaps, right? Another example that I would give in terms of making assumptions is, if you were to flip or look at most of the finance books that we have even today, for derivatives discounting, to kind of know the time value of money, to know the net present value, they would say LIBOR is a curve that is broadly used by banks, because that's the rate where banks borrow and offer deposits and loans, right? That was completely wrong, because derivatives were not done at the borrowing or offering rates. Derivatives were done either using the bank's capital or the firm's capital, or using the collateral that the banks would get on the back of the derivatives. So what is the interest rate that gets paid on the collateral, or what is the interest rate that gets paid on the capital of the firm, is what should be used to discount your forward cash flows on derivatives, right? This seems very basic, isn't it? Weighted average cost of capital is something that we all would have studied back in the day in CA. But the biggest and the best and the brightest minds, coming from the Harvards of the world, Stanfords of the world, and the Cornells of the world, continue to assume that it is appropriate to discount derivatives at LIBOR, right? So these are two examples that I could continue with, but the point that I'm trying to drive through is, in your investment portfolio, you would always make assumptions. It's impossible not to make assumptions in an uncertain world. But the key is document your assumptions and keep validating them, right? The third point that I learned from the crisis is do your own research, right? It's extremely important to have your own research, right? Do not blindly believe or go by credit ratings or equity ratings or research reports that other banks, other financial institutions, other investment gurus have done, right? I don't think I need to elaborate on the credit trading crisis that happened alongside the 2008 scenario. There are multiple others, like marking to market every single day, and especially in volatile markets, literally every single hour, every single minute. Those are all other key learnings. But from an investor awareness point of view, I thought I would share these three key learnings that I had. We'll probably take a pause there. I don't know how I'm doing on time. I'm good? Yeah. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I would like to engage more with the institute and the members. I've spoken to the challenge to see how we could essentially engage more broadly with the profession as well as the industry. So if you have any suggestions, thoughts, ideas, questions, please feel free to reach out to me. The institute should have my email address. I'm very happy to engage with all of you. Thank you once again.
Friends, we learned some of the important key issues, the importance of liquidity management, the collapse of Lehman Brothers, non-compliance of the same. Do your own research, don't depend on any credit rating agency, or don't fully dependent on outside agencies or other investment gurus. Do your own research is a wonderful advice for all of us. Thanks Sathiya for the wonderful keynote address. Friends, Sathiya is heading Goldman Sachs in Bangalore. So the Bangalore or India's facility is the second largest in India for Goldman Sachs after US. They are having more than 6,000 employees in India. So it is a proud moment for us to felicitate Sathiya on this occasion. The branch council members want to join that process. Let's do the felicitation to Sathiya.
pleasure. Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Sathiya, for accepting our felicitation, and also thank Sathiya for this wonderful keynote address. Let us thank each one of you. Conclude this inaugural session. Thank you.